This is the story of a tired Palestinian farmer, desperately clinging onto whatever joy he can still extract from his land and labor. This is the inspiring story of the Union of Agricultural Work Committees, which has supported him and countless other farmers for over 34 years. It is the bittersweet journey through land, which the Palestinian people love and to which they are deeply attached. Land that has been taken and stolen from them by Israel's occupation and annexation. Agriculture is a pillar of the Palestinian nation and an integral component of the Palestinians' culture, economic, and social life. Since 8000 BC, from the time of the Al-Tawab civilization, Palestinians have been pioneers and innovators in agriculture and agricultural production. The ongoing occupation and confiscation of Palestinian land in Area C deprives the Palestinian economy of 63% of their agricultural resources in the West Bank, setting the loss to the Palestinian economy at more than $3 billion annually. In Gaza, more than 46% of the agricultural land is inaccessible. The fishing industry has almost completely collapsed, since fishing off the coast of Gaza has been restricted by Israel to 3 to 6 nautical miles. Around 27% of the Palestinian population, about 1.59 million people, is food insecure. The contribution of agriculture to the Palestinian GDP has dropped from around 19% in the 1980s to 3.5% in 2019. If Palestinians could develop and use the 90,000 hectare in Area C currently inaccessible to them, this would contribute to the Palestinian GDP with $1 billion annually. UAWC's establishment in 1986 came in response to the vulnerable socio-economic situation of the Palestinian farmers, resulting from the Israeli occupation and exploitation of their land and water, in order to promote small farmers, steadfastness, and their access to and sovereignty over natural resources. In 2019 alone, UAWC succeeded in reaching 21,198 male and female farmers. UAWC's activities include land reclamation and rehabilitation, including agricultural roads, leveling, planting, plowing, use of fertilizers and pesticides, water resource development and management, including water harvesting pools, cisterns, rehabilitation of springs, and installation of water pipelines and networks, capacity building, including for food processing, home gardening, poultry breeding, bee breeding, goat breeding, and farm management, humanitarian response to emergencies and disasters, economic empowerment for women and youth, protection of local seeds and reserves. Promotion of renewable energy and environment-friendly techniques, support for marketing of small-scale farmers and women's cooperatives production, provision of legal advice and support in cases involving land confiscation and demolition orders, lobby and advocacy at national and international level on behalf of small-scale farmers, fishermen, and workers. Most recently, UAWC has played a leading role in responding to the deterioration in the humanitarian situation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. On 23rd of March 2020, UAWC delivered the Convoy of Hope and Philanthropy to Bethlehem City, loaded with more than 30 tons of vegetable varieties donated by farmers UAWC interventions mitigating the consequences of COVID-19 have reached more than 220 rural communities with about 10,000 families who received hygiene kits, food baskets, and about 2,500 home garden and 700,000 vegetable seedlings. Since its establishment, UAWC's achievements include 3,000 kilometers of irrigation pipes installed, over 10,000 hectares of grazing land developed, 20,000 hectares of land reclaimed and rehabilitated, more than 2,000 kilometers of agricultural roads built, more than 2,125,000 square meter retaining walls built, farmers' access to water increased by 300,000 cubic meter, 40 varieties of indigenous local seeds protected, around 2 million trees planted, hundreds of income-generating projects for youth and women, more than 2,000 training hours annually. The success of UAWC's projects have gained it 3 international awards in 2014 and 15, the Food Sovereignty Prize, the Equator Prize, and the Arab Creativity Award in the Economic Creativity. The Union of Agricultural Work Committees, a continuous journey of giving, an approach based on human rights principles.